Ambassador Lithara of the Peaceful Confederation clutched her emergency diplomatic pouch with trembling appendages as a transport vessel approached the Sol system. The crisis on Kepler 442b had escalated beyond all containment protocols, and the Confederation's gentle intervention methods had proven woefully inadequate against the aggressive blight infection consuming their agricultural colonies. In desperation, the Galactic Council had authorized contact with the newcomers' humanity. Initial reports suggested they were a reasonable species from a moderately challenging world. Surely they would offer some measured assistance, perhaps a few scientific advisors or a small medical team. Ambassador, her aide Vortham announced, "We're receiving transmission from Earth Defense Command." A holographic figure materialized a human female in what appeared to be military dress. "Ambassador Lithara, this is General Patricia Wong, Earth Crisis Response Division. We've reviewed your emergency request. Permission to clarify mission parameters." Lithara's relief was palpable. A crisis response division suggested they had experience with emergencies. "General Wong, we are grateful for your consideration. The blight has consumed 14 agricultural settlements on Kepler 442b. Our containment efforts have failed, and we estimate complete planetary ecosystem collapse within 30 standard days." "Understood," General Wong replied crisply. "Biological contamination, aggressive spread pattern, ecosystem-level threat. What assistance are you requesting? Perhaps a small team of specialists? Maybe some advanced scanning equipment to help us understand the blight's biology? We would be grateful for any knowledge you could share." General Wong's expression shifted in a way that Lithara's cultural database couldn't interpret. "Ambassador, we're classifying this as a Code Black ecological crisis. Please stand by for mission briefing." The transmission ended, leaving Lithara puzzled but hopeful. 20 minutes later, every alert system on her ship began screaming, "Ambassador!" Vortham's voice carried panic harmonics. Massive energy signatures emerging from Earth's outer system. I count over 300 vessels." The view screen lit up with the most terrifying armada Lithara had ever witnessed. The ships were massive, angular, and bristling with equipment she couldn't identify. But it was their approach vector that truly frightened her. They were moving at speeds that should have been impossible for vessels of that size. "This is Admiral Marcus Chen, aboard the UES Prometheus," came a new transmission. "Ambassador Lithara, we're en route to Kepler 442b. Our ETA is 16 hours. Please transmit all available data on the blight organism immediately." Lithara found her voice with difficulty. "Admiral, we only requested a small advisory team. This appears to be a full military fleet." "Affirmative," Chen replied matter-of-factly. "Ecological threats require comprehensive response protocols. We're deploying the Biowarfare Division, the Atmospheric Engineering Corps, 3 terraforming battalions, and the Strategic Planetary Recovery Fleet." "Biowarfare?" Lithara whispered. "Standard procedure for aggressive biological threats," Chen explained. "Don't worry, Ambassador. We've handled similar situations before." As the human fleet passed her small diplomatic vessel, Lithara caught glimpses of their cargo manifests scrolling across open communication channels. The words made her species gas bladders contract with terror: atmospheric processors, orbital bombardment platforms, genetic extinction protocols, planetary sterilization arrays. "Admiral," she managed, "perhaps I should clarify we weren't requesting military intervention. The blight is simply an aggressive plant-like organism. We hoped for scientific consultation, not whatever this is." "Understood, Ambassador." "Plant-like organism with aggressive expansion characteristics, ecosystem disruption capabilities, and resistance to standard containment. We'll have it handled within 72 hours. 72 hours later, Lithara stood on the observation deck of her ship, staring at what had once been Kepler 442b. The planet looked different. Where the blight had consumed vast stretches of landscape, leaving dead grey zones of devastation, now there were geometric patterns of fresh green growth. Status report from the surface, Admiral Chen announced during their scheduled communication. Blight organism has been successfully eliminated. Genetic sequencing complete, countermeasures deployed, ecosystem restoration initiated. How? Lithara asked weakly. Standard Deathworld protocol, Chen replied. We identified the blight's genetic vulnerabilities, engineered 17 different targeted pathogens, deployed atmospheric scrubbers to remove airborne spores, and introduced competing organisms designed to aggressively reclaim territory. The orbital bombardment was minimal, only targeted areas where chemical sterilization proved insufficient. Orbital bombardment? Precision strikes only, Chen assured her. We used the asteroid redirectors to drop sterile rock packages on concentrated blight nodes. Very clean, very effective. Lithara's aide was reviewing the technical reports with increasing hysteria. Ambassador, Vorthim whispered, they didn't just eliminate the blight. They've improved the planetary ecosystem. Agricultural productivity is projected to increase by 300%. They've optimized the atmospheric composition, introduced beneficial microorganisms, and established a biological monitoring network that will prevent future contamination events. But how did they? Lithara began. Admiral Chen's image showed what humans called a smile. Ambassador, Earth has dealt with aggressive biological threats for millions of years. Ice ages, supervolcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, mass extinctions, we've survived them all. Your blight was certainly nasty, but compared to some of the organisms on our own planet, it was relatively manageable. Relatively manageable? Lithara's voice rose to frequencies that made her translator struggle. Oh yes. On Earth, we have organisms that can survive in boiling acid, others that can consume plastic, some that can withstand direct nuclear radiation. We've learned to work with hostile biology rather than against it. Your blight just needed some competition. As the human fleet prepared to depart, General Wong contacted Lithara one final time. Ambassador, our biowarfare teams have prepared a comprehensive report on advanced biological containment. We're also leaving a monitoring station and a rapid response team, just in case you encounter similar threats in the future. That's very generous, Lithara managed. Standard procedure, Wong replied. Any other planets in your sector experiencing ecological difficulties? We have some free time before our next assignment. After the human fleet disappeared into hyperspace, Lithara sat in her command chair, staring at the restored world below. In 3 days, humanity had eliminated a threat that had baffled the greatest scientific minds in the Confederation, restored a dying ecosystem, and offered to do it again as if it were routine maintenance. Her final report to the Galactic Council would be brief: mission successful. Recommend immediate reclassification of humanity from helpful newcomers to do not upset under any circumstances. Also recommend updating our definition of reasonable response to include the possibility that some species solve problems by completely re-engineering reality. In the margin notes, she added, next time we have a crisis, perhaps we should ask the Meditation Collective instead. They're much less terrifying when they help. The report was filed under a new classification created specifically for humanity: excessive competence handle with extreme gratitude.